great pleasure to welcome you to this important event. We are especially honored to have our Supreme Court lawyer, Mr. Mehmood, Pracha, who has traveled all the way from Delhi to be with us. Mr. Pracha tirelessly trying to bring transparency and integrity in our electoral system. Mr. Pracha's dedication truly commendable. Mr. Pracha brought to light critical issues regarding use of EVM. Now, what is Mr. Pracha trying to do? Mr. Pracha is trying to expose the truth regarding EVM. But remember, most people do not like the truth. People like fictional stories. They are easy to make. Anybody can make fictional stories, but the truth is complicated. It is unattractive. Truth requires a lot of personal sacrifices, time, energy, money to investigate. Still, people don't like the truth. And people like Pracha are really committed going after the truth. Now, what about you? Now you all know Socrates was poisoned to death for truth. What about Galileo? Truth can get you into trouble, right? Despite the dangers, courageous individuals like Mehmood Pracha directly confront the truth head on. I really appreciate or salute Mr. Pracha for his dedication. Now, what about you? Why are you here today? This is not entertainment. Remember, people prefer entertainment. And here there is no entertainment. Your presence means you are different. Different from most of the people. Different from the crowd mentality. And remember, if you are committed, then you are the one who can make a difference. There is a concept called law of diffusion. According to that, 2.5% of the people are innovators, like Advocate Pracha, who take the first step, dare to take the first step and confront the truth. Then comes 30.5%, known as early adapters. This group creates the real magic. This group, if committed, can create a tipping point for the next group called early majority, 34%. And once that early majority is activated, then the snowball effect starts. You don't need to call anybody. The next group, late majority, follows automatically. Now I said 2.5% are innovators, 13.5% are early adapters, 34 early majority, 34 late majority. Total is 84. What about the remaining 16? They are called laggards. But the most crucial part of this law of diffusion is 13.5%. The early adapters, they are the ones who create the tipping point. And your presence over here means you are one of them. And if you are committed, then you are the one who can create a tipping point for the change we seek. So together, we are really honored to have Advocate Pracha with us. So all of us, give a warm welcome to the
Now we are honoring Advocate Mehmood Pracha, Secretary has come to lead on us. Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Janardhan Kamalkar to say a few words.
साथियों, जय भीम, जय मूल निवासी, जय हिंद। अच्छा आपने याद दिलाया। साथियों, जैक मैस्टर साहब ने यहाँ पर जो मीटिंग हो रही है इसका मकसद क्या है, ये उस मकसद को साफ कर दिया है। वो मकसद है चुनाव में जो ईवीएम मशीन इस्तेमाल होता है इसके सच्चाई का पता लगा। सबसे पहले मैं हमारे बीच में मौजूद मिशन सेव कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की अध्यक्षता करने वाले सुप्रीम कोर्ट के लॉयर महमूद प्राचा साहब का यहाँ पर गोवा की ओर से मैं यहाँ भी स्वागत करता हूँ। और हम सबको पता है, जहाँ तक ईवीएम का सवाल है इसके बारे में मैं कुछ भी नहीं बोलूँगा क्योंकि हमें ईवीएम के ऊपर महमूद प्राचा साहब को सुनना है। आज के तारीख में अगर सबसे महत्वपूर्ण विषय अगर कोई है तो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। सबसे पहले मैं महमूद प्राचा साहब के बारे में एक वक्तव्य यहाँ पर रखना चाहता हूँ। वो है, जो बोलते वही करते हैं, जो करते वही बोलते हैं। इसके पीछे जो कारण है वो ये कि जब से मैं महमूद प्राचा साहब को सोशल मीडिया में देखता हूँ, जब भी वो दिखते हैं एक किस्म का इक्वेशन बन गया है। प्राचा साहब मतलब ईवीएम और कन्वर्सली ईवीएम मतलब प्राचा साहब। जब भी प्राचा साहब ईवीएम के ऊपर बोलते हैं, बड़े मतलब तो दिल ठोक के बोलते हैं और जो बोलते हैं सच्चाई बोलते हैं और उनका एक ही मकसद है ईवीएम के पीछे मतलब ईवीएम मशीन जो है वो कैसे काम करता है इसको उजागर करना, यही उनका काम है। और बहुत सारे ऐसे कई लोग हैं जो भी जिन्हें भी मौका मिले इसके ऊपर बोलते रहते हैं। तो सबसे पहले मैं हमारे संविधान दाता भारत रत्न डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर को याद करना चाहता हूँ और उनके बारे में दो पंक्तियां मैं यहाँ पर बोलना चाहता हूँ। बहुजनों के विधाता, हम सबके मुक्तिदाता, वंचितों की ढाल, ज्ञान का मिसाल, नारी उद्धारक, समाज सुधारक, इतिहास के पाठी, किताबों के साथी, निडर, निर्भीक, धैर्यवान, उच्च कोटि के विद्वान, सिंबल ऑफ नॉलेज, लीडर ऑफ गोलमेल, अर्थशास्त्र के जानकार, महान शिल्पकार, मनुस्मृति के नाशक, बुद्ध के उपासक, वर्तमान और भविष्य की आवाज, विश्व के सरताज, कानून के ज्ञाता, संविधान निर्माता डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर को मैं कोटि कोटि नमन करता हूँ। नमन इसलिए करता हूँ साथियों, अगर उन्होंने संविधान नहीं दिया होता, संविधान में हक अधिकार हमें नहीं दिलाए होते तो शायद हम लोग घूमने फिरने का अधिकार नहीं एंजॉय कर पाते, बोलने लिखने का अधिकार हम नहीं एंजॉय कर पाते और शायद ही हम आपके बीच में यहाँ पर खड़े होके हम हमारी बात रख पाते। हम कई सांसदों से यह बात सुनते आए हैं कि भारत का संविधान अब उतना अहम नहीं रहा है जितना अहम वो पहले था। साथियों, इनसे एक ही पता चलता है कि ईवीएम के ऊपर जितना भूतकाल में खतरा नहीं था उतना खतरा आज मंडरा रहा है। लेकिन असल में देखा जाए तो हमारा भारत का जो संविधान है वो कितना पावरफुल है, कितना स्ट्रांग है, ये दो एग्जाम्पल के तौर पर मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा। शायद आप सभी लोग जानते होंगे कि 2000 साल में अमेरिका में चुनाव हुआ था और ये चुनाव में दो उम्मीदवार जो थे, एक जॉर्ज बुश और दूसरा अल गोर। जब चुनाव परिणाम घोषित हुए तो दोनों को समान वोट पड़े, तो पेच खड़ा हो गया, प्रॉब्लम खड़ा हो गया। तो अमेरिकन सरकार ने पहले यूरोपियन कंट्रीज को अप्रोच किया, उनसे सलाह मशवरा मांगा, कुछ सलाह मिला नहीं। उसके बाद कोशिश बाद उन्होंने भारतीय सरकार से अप्रोच किया और कुछ ही समय बाद उनको सुझाव दिया गया कि आपके पार्लियामेंट में स्पीकर है, स्पीकर को वोट डालने के लिए बोलो। तो जब स्पीकर ने वोट डाला, वोट जॉर्ज बुश के पाले में पड़ा और इस तरह से जॉर्ज बुश विजयी घोषित हुए। तो इससे पता चलता है जो सुझाव बाकी देशों के पास नहीं था, वो भारत देश ने उनको सुझाव दिया और सुझाव के तहत जॉर्ज बुश जीत गए। दूसरा एग्जाम्पल जो है वो ये कि हम सब जानते हैं यूनाइटेड नेशंस के सेक्रेटरी जनरल जो है वो अंटोनियो गुतेरेस है। उन्होंने अपने एक कार्यक्रम के दौरान में ये बात रखी है कि मैंने कई सारे देशों का संविधान पढ़ा है, लेकिन भारत का जो संविधान डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आम्बेडकर ने लिखा है, उस तोड़ का या उस लेवल का संविधान मुझे कहीं पर भी नहीं मिला। इसके आगे जाकर के और एक बात रखते हैं, अगर इस संविधान को, मतलब भारत में जो संविधान है, इस संविधान को अगर पूरे विश्व में लागू किया जाए तो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, टेररिज्म और तत्सम जो समस्याएं हैं वो 5 साल के अंतराल में मिट जाएगी, सॉल्व होगी। तो साथियों, ये दो एग्जाम्पल के ऊपर अगर गौर किया जाए तो हमें साफ साफ पता चलता है कि भारत का संविधान कितना पावरफुल है, कितना स्ट्रांग है। दूसरा एक किस्सा जो भारत में हुआ था, इस किस्सा भी मैं यहाँ पर शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। शायद प्राचा साहब को, वो जो लॉयर थे, जो जज थे, उनके बारे में पता होगा, नाम उनका मुझे फिलहाल अभी याद नहीं आ रहा है। तो एक कार्यक्रम में वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो रिटायर्ड जज थे, उन्होंने प्रेस के दौरान इस बात को रखा कि भारत का संविधान जो है वो केवल 1% इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में है। अगर इस बात को दूसरे शब्दों में कहा जाए तो 99% ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज नॉट इन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। अगर भारतीय संविधान 100% लागू होता तो शायद आज ये मीटिंग नहीं होती, शायद प्राचा साहब को भी इतने दूर से यहाँ पर नहीं आना पड़ता। लेकिन हमारा बदनसीब है, डॉक्टर बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर ने ये बात कही थी जब वो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को हैंड ओवर कर रहे थे, तब वो खुद रोए इसलिए क्योंकि उन्हें ठीक से पता था हमारा संविधान जो है वो ठीक से लागू नहीं किया जाएगा। ये बात उनको सही मायने में पता था और वही हुआ है। तो साथियों, आज हमारा फर्ज बनता है कि भारतीय संविधान जो है ये पूरी तरह सुरक्षित रखने का। साथियों, आज भूतकाल में कभी न थी उतनी जरूरत आज निर्माण हो गई कि हम सब साथियों को मिलजुल के भारतीय संविधान को मतलब सेफ रखना होगा, इसकी सुरक्षा करनी होगी। साथियों, हम सभी को एक छत के नीचे आना होगा। हम सारे बहुजन हैं और बहुजन के तौर पर हमें एक छत के नीचे आना होगा। अगर हम एक छत के नीचे आते हैं तो हमारी संख्या बढ़ेगी, अगर हमारी संख्या बढ़ जाती है तो हमारी ताकत बढ़ेगी और ताकत के सहारे हम आंदोलन खड़ा कर सकते हैं। और जब ये आंदोलन हर प्रांत में होगा तो राष्ट्रव्यापी आंदोलन भी हम खड़ा कर सकते हैं। और जब राष्ट्रव्यापी आंदोलन होगा तो वही होगा जो बांग्लादेश में हुआ, वही होगा जो श्रीलंका में हुआ, वही होगा जो संभवतः पाकिस्तान में होगा और हम कामयाब हो जाएंगे। आज के इस मौके पर मुझे यहाँ पर आयोजक ने बोलने के लिए यहाँ पर मौका दिया, तो मैं आयोजक का बहुत धन्यवाद कहता हूँ और यहाँ पर रुकता हूँ। जय हिंद।
Now I request Mr. Shaikh Mansoor to give his talk.
दिल्लीच्या न्यायालय आमचे सुप्रीम कोर्टचे लॉयर ॲडव्होकेट मेहमूद पुत्ताजी, माचेर आशिल्ले आनी माचे हांगा हॉलांत बशिल्ले आमचे मानेस्त आनी म्हज्या मगाळ गोंयकार भाव आनी भयण, तुमकां सगळ्यांक देव बरी साथ आवडेता। हम लोगों ने ना जाने कितने आंदोलनें इस 10 सालों में की है। हम लोग मतलब देश के नागरिकों ने, कुछ में कामयाबी हुई, हासिल हुई, कुछ को दबाया गया। इसमें से एक है बैलेट पेपर से चुनाव कराना। क्या संविधान खतरे में है? बेशक है। इसका मेन कारण इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन्स है। मुझे शंका है, जिसको मैंने वोट किया, क्या मेरा वोट उसी को गया? रिकॉर्ड हुआ तो क्या सचमुच उसी के नाम वो वोट रिकॉर्ड हुआ? और जो वोट काउंट हुआ, क्या वो रिकॉर्ड हुआ ही वोट काउंट हुआ? क्या इतने शंका भरे सवाल होने के बावजूद इलेक्शंस को फेयर एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट कह सकते हैं? क्या कह सकते हैं? नहीं, बेशक नहीं। सवाल ये भी है कि सरकारें चुनी जाती है वो नागरिकों की भलाई के काम करने के लिए या हुकूमत की अपनी मनमानी के लिए। सवाल ये भी उठता है कि हम कब तक ऐसी मीटिंग्स लेते रहेंगे? क्या ऐसे छोटे छोटे मीटिंग से सरकार पर कुछ असर पड़ता भी है? क्या आजकल की जुडिशरी या किसी भी सरकारी मशीनरी से कुछ उम्मीद की जा सकती है? क्या हमें इस आंदोलन को इतना आगे ले जाना होगा जैसे कि कोई आज़ादी का आंदोलन हो? हमारे दादा लड़े थे गोरों से, हमें लड़ना होगा इन चोरों से। संविधान और डेमोक्रेसी को बचाना है तो हमें हमारे जानों की परवाह ना करते मर मिटने के लिए तैयार होना होगा। We have to take this fight to the logical end by making it more organized and fierce if required. We expect our leader, Advocate Mehmood to guide us in the right direction and the future course of action to be taken. Jai Hind, Jai Samvidhan.
Thank you, Shri. आज आमच्यामध्ये आमचो फातोडेचो आमदार बाबू विजय सर आयिल्लो आसा आनी एक ओपोजिशन लिडर म्हणून तो असेंब्लीक दिश्टी पडटा आमकां जायते इश्यू तो रेज करता. तर हांव मागता बाबू विजय सर घेवन ताणें मातशें माचयेर येवन बसका घेवचें. तो बाकी हम जिसका इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं बहुत देर से, इतले वेळ आमी बसल्यार आयकपाक तांचो ताळो तांचे उलोवप हांव मागता. एडवोकेट सुप्रीम कोर्टाचे एडवोकेट बाब महमूद प्राचा हांचे लागीं ताणें आपलें उलोवप करचें. महमूद प्राचा जी, आप अपनी बात रखिए. थैंक यू. सगळ्यांनी ताळी मारून टाका.
I, first of all, thank all the organizers, the participants, and our Sahab, members of the press. To everyone, Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan. Salam and very good evening. The most important, should I speak in English or mix or what?
English.
English. Mix. Okay. The most important contribution of Baba Sahib Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar and his few friends in the Constituent Assembly is providing one vote to each and every citizen of the country. The moment he or she acquires 21 earlier and now 18 years of age. This is the basic concept of transferring of sovereign from the emperor or the queen or the kings to public at large. So the entire populace of this country was made the ruler of this country by this right of universal suffrage. By way of voting in elections, what do we do? This is the most important aspect of understanding. In a democracy and in our constitutional democracy, architected by friends of our son Dr. Ambedkar along with leading the entire pack. Common people transfer their sovereignty to a few people who are their servants. Please mark my words. जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री हैं, हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, ये सब मंत्री हैं, स्पीकर साहब हैं, चीफ जस्टिस साहब हैं, कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी हैं, चीफ सेक्रेटरी साहब हैं, ये सब जनता के, आपके और मेरे नौकर हैं. थोड़ा हार्श लफ्ज हैं, लेकिन to make people understand I use this term, but this is a fact. Public servant, in English everybody says public servant, public servant. So I am translating it in a different manner. They are servants of the people. So this is the most important power of the people, which they transfer for a limited period of time to some people to serve them using their sovereignty for a limited people, staying within the boundaries of constitution. This is in nutshell our constitutional democracy. And there are various checks and balances. Now, election commission is also a servant of the people. Election commission is only performing a duty which people of India have handed them over to hold a free and fair election, an election which common masses are able to understand. And not only understand, they are able to see and confirm for themselves things which my brother just said, that my vote is casted as I intend, and then counted ultimately as he casted. There is a chain of safety in between. And one more thing which I will very categorically, because election commission always says that you trust us because we are a constitutional body. No. The entire scheme of things, now you have to understand this very clearly, the entire scheme of things of any elections across the globe is mistrust. The person or the body which is organizing or holding the elections, mistrust. And that is why election commission is forced to say what? Disclosure. What it says in every press conference. Our thumb rule, our golden rule is, this is what Mr. Rajiv Kumar also says, disclosure. Why? Because there is an inherent mistrust, built-in mistrust in every election holding body. Anybody who wants to not disclose, to not come forward and answer all questions, and to not show everything, to divulge everything, anybody who does withhold information is conceptually presumed to be a fraud, a cheat in any election. That's in nutshell the concept of elections in the entire globe. Now, from 5th of this, now I will tell you a few important points which you people need to keep at the back of your mind. Number one, every single political party in the countries, at least every single major political party has opposed tooth and nail EVM, holding elections by EVM, including the Bharatiya Janata Party. At one point in time or the other. So nobody should have that love and affection for EVM unless somebody wants to misuse the EVM. So I'm trying to build up my case like this. There are about 50 petitions which have been dismissed by the Honorable Supreme Court of the country challenging the holding of election by the method of EVMs. 46 have been dismissed. My petition is the one of the very few 2-3 exceptions which have survived, half survived, because I have been given liberty to approach the lower courts. More than the Supreme Court, there are various high courts which have dismissed even more number of cases against TVM. Some of them slapping fines also. But none of the judgments, mind you, none of the judgment says that you cannot hold elections by way of paper ballot. None of the judgments says that you have to hold elections only by way of EVMs. Now I come to the law. Law as it exists today. आज का जो कानून है वो मैं आपको बताऊं। आज का कानून इलेक्शन कराने के लिए कहता है कि चुनाव पेपर बैलेट से ही होंगे, चुनाव पेपर बैलेट से ही होने चाहिए। सेक्शन 59 ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट। अब इसकी एक्सेप्शन है, पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक 1984 में एक जजमेंट दी थी जिसमें यह कहा गया था क्योंकि पेपर बैलेट से ही प्रावधान है कानून में, तो पेपर बैलेट के अलावा चुनाव अगर मशीन से होते हैं तो वो गैर संवैधानिक, गैर कानूनी। एनी इलेक्शन विच आर हेल्ड बाय अ मेथड अदर देन पेपर बैलेट इज इलीगल, इज अ जजमेंट, HiveJaw's judgment of 1984. Therefore, to overcome that judgment, government brought out certain changes in law by way of section 61 capital A. Except A, capital A, is the provision which under certain circumstances allows holding elections by way of machines, not electronic voting machines. I am reproducing the section 61 capital A before you. It doesn't say electronic voting machines. Section 61 capital A permits holding of elections by machines subject to the condition that election commission, this is very important, subject to the condition that election commission will disclose by way of an order that it cannot hold elections in certain constituency, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number of constituencies, by way of paper ballot. Therefore, it wants to hold election by way of machines, not electronic voting machines. So, election commission has to issue orders for individual seats on which it wants to hold elections by way of machines, including electronic voting machines. Right? To my knowledge, and this is the first thing I have exposed, to my knowledge, Election Commission has not followed 61 capital A till date in any election, starting from 1998 onwards, because this 61 capital A came into existence only in 1989. So, technically speaking, all the elections which are held by way of electronic voting machines are illegal per se, they hold no legal ground. Such is the fraud which is happening in this country. Now the entire battle, for whatever reasons, I will not go into the reasons, because I have come into this campaign against EVM only from 5th of January 2024, when it became a mass movement because Mission Save Constitution hit the streets. Before me, a lot of people have done a lot of hard work. I will be failing in my duty if I don't take names like Deva Saham Sahab, like Kolse Patil Sahab, like Prabhakar Parkala Sahab, like Dr. Pyarelal Garg Sahab, like Meshram Sahab, Raju Purlekar Sahab, a lot of others. But why I am taking these names today also is because these people are hung up. Even out of these people, many of them were convinced that EVMs can be improved some way or the other by introduction of VVPATs, by introduction of various other security methods. When I joined this campaign on 5th of January 2024, I convinced and tried to convince everyone, because I undertook a detailed study. I have some experience in conduct of elections also. So I undertook a holistic study and then made up my mind, and every person who was actually genuinely concerned about free and fair elections today is on one page with me, and that is elections are safest by way of paper ballot. Elections are cheapest by way of paper ballots. Elections are quickest by way of paper ballots. Elections are most transparent by way of paper ballots. Every single one. Barring a few, which I will come to in the later part of my address. Now, having convinced everyone and bringing them on one page, all the experts, technical, legal, and those who collect data, we moved to the next step. Now that agitation was so strong during the Lok Sabha elections that there was a direct hit on the management capacity of BJP and RSS during the course of Lok Sabha elections, and therefore their seats fell to 240 instead of what was planned by them up to 400. This, my dear friends, is the most important reason why they fell to 240. But if you actually rule out the counting of votes of EVM, then their seats will not cross. Please believe me, I have all the detailed research. If anybody wants, I can convince individually. Convincing everyone here at public at large is slightly difficult. They would not cross 50. BJP on their own. That is the fraud which has been played over this country. Now, how to prove it? It was an absolutely difficult task because of 2-3 reasons, which I will list out once again. One, everybody who was opposing EVMs was wanting to improve the EVMs and not saying that bring paper ballots into the voting system. So the entire debate was how to improve these machines, which cannot be improved under any circumstances. EVM is the most vulnerable method of holding elections under the sun. The most vulnerable. Even if everyone is honest, even then somebody from outside the system can manipulate and hack the system. So there should be no love and affection for this system, which is per se by default prone to manipulation, which by default does not fulfill the basic criteria of the voter having the feel of his vote. He should be physically able to feel his vote, see from his own eyes, touch his own vote. By EVM, he is not seeing his vote, he is seeing an image of his vote at best. So this falls foul of the basic criteria of holding elections. And this is the judgment of Act 2013, titled as Subramaniam Swamy versus Election Commission. It categorically holds that votes which are polled in the machines are no votes. Votes which are polled in the election machines are no votes at all. Votes are those votes which should be deciphered or recorded by way of a VVPAT, not by this printer method of VVPAT which the Election Commission is once again fraudulently using. Supreme Court judgment says only voters verifiable paper audit trail. I convinced the entire intellectual class, especially the Citizen Commission for holding elections, headed by Devasayam Saab and all the senior other people of various experts across the globe, that the best form of VVPAT, that is voters verifiable paper audit trail, is paper ballot itself. This printing business is not the best way. And since it is the cheapest, why do you want to spend more money? Now, one argument was that you count 100% votes, you count 50% votes. Now, if we want to count 100% VVPAT votes as they exist today, what is the fun of having this string of machines in between? You just have a 1 rupee or less than 1 rupee stamp, and some amount of ink is used, and then rest is paper. The cost will fall by 100 times at least. So what is this love for this machine when you have to count each and every votes? So these arguments are totally fallacious. So why we lost all these cases is for the simple reason that everyone in unison, and I request all of you people to read the judgment of ADR of 26th of April 2024. The first paragraph categorically says this, that all the petitioners in one voice, in unison, say that they do not doubt the integrity of Election Commission of India. Right? This is a statement made during this hearing in the last year. And everyone, all the petitioners. Now, do you people expect that any judge in the world leave apart the concept of judiciary being under pressure, because 4 sitting judges have also said so, holding a press conference? Leave apart that also. When you are yourself, your best case scenario is that we fully trust the Election Commission of India, how can you doubt its integrity, that it is holding elections unfairly in a mischievous manner? So that was one reason for losing that case. Second was, why Supreme Court dismissed that petition? Because there is no tangible or solid evidence against the EVMs. So these were 2 challenges which we were facing when I joined this campaign. So the entire civil society asked me to contest election from Rampur to collect solid evidence. Why contest election for collecting solid evidence? Because Election Commission is categorically saying these machines are truthful. Nobody should doubt it. Right? This is what Election Commission says. 100% says you should not doubt it. You cannot doubt it. Anybody who doubts it is anti-nationals, blah blah, what not they say. You check it. That's also what they say. But you will not be allowed to touch it. Right? This is the stand of Election Commission of India. So there was only one way which the civil society realized, that somebody has to contest elections to get into the system to see what is happening and collect actual proof. This is exactly what I did when I contested elections in Rampur. The sole reason for my contesting that election was to collect evidence, first-hand evidence, and that we were 100% successful. What we collected was videography of the entire election process, in which the election officials flouted. It was clearly visible that Election Commission officials were clearly flouting almost every provision which is provided in the Constitution, in the Representation of People's Act, the rules made thereunder, and the guidelines, notifications, orders issued, and the facts stated in frequently asked questions by the Election Commission in public domain. Almost all the rules, all the provisions are flouted. That is what we got first-hand information about while contesting the elections. And during that period, I also got various orders from different courts. This Haryana judgment, which came only last year, was actually halfway. Now we are even. Government and us, at one point in time, we were almost zero in this battle against EVMs. Now we are 50-50. But that point in time, we were meticulously collecting evidence on the ground, as well as we were taking one step after the other in the courts, winning each step by painful battle at every step. Every inch that we progressed up against the might of this fraudulent system was very difficult, let me assure my friends. And The biggest problem was a lot of our friends also left us in the lurch. Very few people left, and I congratulate the team here of Goa. I really have the deepest and greatest of respects for your team in Goa and the people of Goa. Because they are one of the few who never left. Who never left. And this is most important. Jack Saab was just telling you about 2.5 and 3.5, 13.5% people. So Goa is a tower of strength for people like us who are fighting this battle. Please understand this. I draw strength from people of Goa. And I don't say things which I don't mean. So we were collecting evidence like this. So we got orders from the High Court of two nature. One, that every proceeding starting from first level of checking, which is to explain to people like you, because you are important people, 6 months before the elections are held, Election Commission is supposed to show to all political parties that machines are safe. There is no hanky-panky, you check the machines. 6 months before the elections are held, elections are announced actually. So, videography has to be conducted from that day onwards till the counting of votes. Every event has to be videographed and has to be captured by CCTV cameras. Every event. And we got an order from Delhi High Court, in my case only, that this exercise will be conducted for all the 543 seats of Lok Sabha. And secondly, they will be kept safe. They will be preserved also. So that day was our biggest victory days, but I could not announce it at that point in time because that will actually give food for thought to our opponents who are trying to use this method of holding fraudulent elections. So that was the biggest victory day for us till now. So if these machines are functioning according to law, no manipulation, no fraudulent behavior is being conducted on them to favor one party, because it always favors one party, then Election Commission should be the first person to come out and say, you take this videography, and see our honesty, see our truthfulness, see our transparency, see how meticulously we are following the law, because we have told the Supreme Court time and again that EVM machines are safe because we follow this rigorous procedure. Because we follow these rigorous protocol, procedure, SOPs. So actually, if said on a lighter side, I was trying to prove to the world that Election Commission is conducting elections honestly. Modi ji is winning the election honestly. He is not an Indian PM, but he is a people's PM. I was trying to do that by asking for giving me the videography so that I can show to the world how honest Modi ji is, how honest Amit Shah Sahab is, how honest RSS and BJP is. But they said no. We will not give you because this will expose our honesty to the world. We want to remain dishonest. That is what is happening. Why this battle between someone like me who's actually facing so much of wrath, and including our Chief Minister of the neighboring state who devoted his first speech, opening sentence remarks probably to me, taking my name several times in a very derogatory manner. I am trying to prove that Fadnavis Saab is not a EVM CM. By asking for videography of the Maharashtra election also, he is abusing me. What is this problem of his? He will not allow me under any circumstances to prove that he is an honestly elected Chief Minister. What is this problem with Modi ji and every other Chief Minister of BJP? I don't understand. Unless there is something else. Unless I am wrong, unless what everybody else is saying that EVMs, through EVMs they manipulate elections, and that is the reason Now, seriously coming to the point, when we got that Haryana, Punjab and Haryana High Court's order of the direction to the Election Commission of India to supply me the videography of the entire election process, 6 months before the election and after a conclusion of election and storage of EVM machines. Of all the 90 Haryana constituencies, MLA constituencies. So the Modi government, Election Commission, RSS and BJP were caught between the devil and the deep sea. If they give me that, and I had declared, I will put a screen in every constituency of Haryana and show to the people for themselves to judge what and in what manner elections were held, whether they were held according to the law or whether there was fraud committed on them. This was one option to them. So they were scared of adopting that line. So they changed the goalpost after I won the game. Haryana High Court, it was argued very vehemently from the side of Election Commission that no, we will not give. Mr. Pracha is not the voter of Haryana. He is not even a resident of Haryana. He has not contested any election in Haryana. He wants to commit some mischief and blah blah blah. He is anti-national. I don't know what not they said in the courts. But the court still overruled all this and said, no, you have to give. And the law for that is, if a candidate asks for this videography and all the papers, which the Election Commission is repeatedly refusing all the candidates, it has to be given free of cost. If somebody else asks for it, a citizen asks for it, it has to be given, but albeit with a cost. So I was willing to pay the cost. So therefore, my case got proved by the fact that they changed the law to prevent me from getting this. And they had to change the law. Then, rest is in front of you. What is happening now? I will also like to inform you the positive side to our struggle. I was in Maharashtra and I met various leaders. And because of that, and because of the team of Maharashtra in which various people are helping me, I do not want to name them because of security reasons. But I met top leaders, and as a result of that, upward of 100 petitions, I believe, have been filed against the 100 seats in which the Mahavikas Aghadi lost in Maharashtra election. Upward of around 20 petitions have been filed in Haryana challenging the elections. And upward of 90 elections have been challenged of the Lok Sabha elections in the 90s, 90. Now, I also want to tell this August gathering that to undo the result of an election, there is only one way available in law in India, and that is by way of an individual election petition filed in respective high courts. There is no other way. Even if you see somebody looting the votes, even if it happens and is directly telecast to the world that somebody is killing people and looting votes, even then there is no method available in the country to set aside that election, barring by way of an election petition. Once the election election process starts. Now this apparently seems to be a very unjust law, but there is a reason for it, and that reason is, shortly I will explain, is that otherwise no election will get completed if courts start intervening in every election during the election process. So now here comes the catch. Every election petition that you people must be knowing, and I know, takes about years, and normally about more than 5 years to get decided. Now what is the point of filing this petition when the entire tenure is passed and the fruits of a fraudulent elections are enjoyed by the winning candidate? So that was the biggest catch. So we had to convince the political leaders, and I am trying to convince the public also that we have devised a method. And I am known to find out solutions to very, very difficult problems. Being an Ambedkarite, it's my duty, because Baba Sahib also has found out such a wonderful solution to the so many problems which our countries and people of our country were facing by way of this constitution. So I have devised a method of getting these petitions decided in a period of not more than 6 to 8 months. And that would be the actual game changer. So we have still the hope, and we fervently hope that upward of 90 seats of Lok Sabha, there will be re-elections very soon. Upward of 100 seats in Maharashtra if there are 100 petitions, and upward of 20 seats in Haryana if there are petitions, which can be decided in 6 to 8 months. That's our next target goal. And these elections will be held by paper ballots. Because we have to have solutions, not just raise the voice, ban EVM, ban EVM, ban EVM, but we have to make the pinch of law and the constitution be felt by people who have won by EVM, not by people's mandate. So that is our target. Second thing is, now before I come to the final part of my address, and then I will invite questions, because I like to answer questions more than my opening remarks, because then the real truth comes out. Because you grill me as much as you want. If I am truthful, I will be able to give an answer which is logical, which is legal, and which is understandable by common people. Three tests. If I am not able to do it, then I am not a trustworthy person. I am not like Modi ji and Rajiv Kumar ji, that you trust us, I'll sing some shairi to you and you have to believe me. I am not like that. And shak ka ilaj Hakim Luqman ke paas bhi nahi tha, I don't say that. Science is the answer to every shak, every doubt. Our constitution, which strives to instill scientific temperament in each and every citizen, is the answer to every doubt. शक का इलाज भारत के संविधान में, और संविधान में साइंटिफिक टेम्परामेंट रखना शक का इलाज है. हमारे ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री में हमारे सारे शक और शुबहात के डाउट्स जो क्लियर किए गए, ज्यादातर, सारे तो नहीं, ज्यादातर, वो साइंस से, लॉजिक से किए गए. कोई भी इंसान ये कहता है कि शक का इलाज कोई नहीं है, तो वो झूठ बोलता है, मेरा ऐसा मानना. तो एक और प्रॉब्लम जो दिल्ली और बिहार के और जो फ्यूचर इलेक्शंस में आने वाली है, तो हम ये कोशिश भी कर रहे हैं टू ट्राई एंड मीट पीपल्स, political parties other than RSS and BJP who are contesting elections in Delhi, and after that in Bihar and every other election, Goa elections are also coming. Till such time elections are held by paper ballots, that is the ideal situation. If political parties support us, it will happen very, very quickly now, because we have almost won the battle. Technically, logically, we have neutralized every argument which was placed against us. Now it is only people's movement which is stopping it from actually implementing it. So for Delhi elections, there is another problem which has been actually very prominently highlighted in Maharashtra election, that is manipulation of voter list. For that also I was preparing for a long time. I had already filed a complaint before Delhi police for registration of an FIR for this voter list manipulation. And also side by side, if the candidates, we have chalked out an SOP which will reduce the poison of EVM from hitting the EVM from within by asking them to follow their own protocols. They cannot follow their protocols because they have to manipulate elections. So we can help political parties in ensuring that the poisonous effect of EVM machine is minimized, even if the elections are held by EVM. That is our endeavor for Delhi and for future elections in Bihar and other states. Now, what is the biggest challenge which we are facing? I will come to that and then I will finish my address and invite questions. The biggest challenge is not the people. People are there, but our democratic system has actually emerged in such a fashion that we are dependent on political parties for addressing our grievances, and that is also debatable, and long debate is required on that also. Now, if in the words of Devasayam Saab, the opposition political parties are happy with the low-hanging fruits, जो आराम से मिल जाए ऐसे ही फल से खुश है वो, तो ये तो कोई सही तरीका नहीं है। जनता की आवाज़ ये है कि हमें एक्स पार्टी को हटाना है क्योंकि हम इनसे खुश नहीं हैं, हम इन्हें कान पकड़ के बाहर करना चाहते हैं। उसका प्राइमरी टूल आज की तारीख में क्या बन गया है, स्पेशली बिकॉज ऑफ ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन्स हैं, प्राइमरी टारगेट ये बन गया है कि हम डिपेंडेंट हो गए हैं कैंडिडेट्स के ऊपर, और कैंडिडेट्स भी महत्वपूर्ण कैंडिडेट्स 99% कौन होते हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के मेंबर्स। ये बहुत खतरनाक बात है। अगर एक आपने टेंडर्स के बारे में तो सुना ही होगा, यहाँ तो बहुत आयरन ओर के और इसके उसके टेंडर्स बहुत होते हैं ना, तो गोवा वाले तो बहुत एक्सपर्ट होंगे ये सब समझने में। अगर कार्टेलाइजेशन कर लिया जाए टेंडर्स का, सुना है ना आपने कार्टेलाइजेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट, अगर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी भी आपस में कार्टेलाइज कर रहे हैं और प्रॉफिट्स बांट लें, तो हम लोग और आप लोग कहाँ गए? सब कुछ तो अडानी अंबानी यूसुफ लुलू जैसे लोग ही उड़ा के ले जाएंगे और कार्टेलाइजेशन हो जाएगा। हमारे हक भारत आज ऐसा नहीं है कि हम फाइनेंशियली ग्रो नहीं कर रहे हैं, हमारी जो आम जनता है ना इतनी मेहनत कर रही है, अगर उसका सही हक उसे मिल जाए तो आज मेरे ख्याल से 90% से ज़्यादा देश के घर खुशहाल हो जाएंगे। लेकिन जो हमारा जीडीपी ग्रोथ हो भी रहा है जितना अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि अच्छे लोगों के हाथ में नहीं है, समझदार लोगों के हाथ में नहीं है। वरना इस समय इंडिया का ग्रोथ रेट ऐसे होना चाहिए था जैसे चाइना ने पिछले 20 साल में किया, तो अभी ऐसे नहीं हो रहा है मिसमैनेजमेंट की वजह से और चोरी और डकैती की वजह से। तो इसका बेनिफिट मिल रहा है मुट्ठी भर लोगों को। अगर ये सबको मिलता तो मेरा ये मानना है कि ये मुंह दिखाई की ऑपोजिशन ठीक नहीं है। एंड पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आर आल्सो सर्वेंट्स ऑफ द पीपल। दे cannot not fight properly against this tyrannical government. That is the mandate of people. People have voted this government out. It is only there because of the fraudulent machines of EVM. And political parties, opposition political parties will have to fight this battle. Rahul Gandhi ji, I take his name for a reason, specific reason. He is the leader of the opposition. Who does he represent? What percentage of Indian people he represents? He cannot have excuses. And I come to the excuses just now. Narendra Modi Sahab enjoys with his entire NDA about 40% of the will of the voters of this country. That's right, that is data. Election Commission. People who have voted against this NDA, despite all the manipulations by EVM, still number about 60%. And this 60% number is represented by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So he cannot have excuses. He has to. Now I come to the main problem. Every political party's grassroots workers are 100% in agreement with what we are saying, qua EVM. 100%. And every party's top leadership 100%, once again I am saying with full sense of responsibility, 100%. Barring a few doubts here and there which the sleeper cell put into their minds, which can be cleared in 5 minutes, is 100% in unison with us, top leadership and the grassroots workers. Now what we have researched out is that there are sleeper cells. There are agents of RSS and BJP in almost all the top political parties. And I don't need to give you examples after examples. We've seen so many turncoats after every election. We've seen so many government fall. We've seen government fall here. We've seen people who have been voted into the assembly by the constituents. One fine morning he says that you voted against this party, I am joining that party. This kind of fraudulent behavior. What is this? It is happening. So I don't need to specify more that there are sleeper cells, agents of RSS, and and BJP, almost all the political parties, they try to ride the crest of opposition, the mood of opposing the status quo of the people, and then help maintain that status quo. Nothing can be more fraudulent in democracy than this. You are defeating the will of the people by this fraudulent method. Forget about EVM also. And this strength comes to them because they will win elections because of EVM. So the point I was trying to make is we've named, especially, I've not named the sleeper cells in any other party. I've named a few sleeper cells in Congress party, two actually, Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. K.C. Venugopal. We have ample evidence for that. We protested outside Congress's office. It was a kind of soft protest, requesting Khargeji and Rahulji to push out the sleeper cells and come and lead EVM's battle. Lead us. We will stand behind the opposition party leaders. Kharge Saab, after losing Maharashtra's election on 20th of November, on 26th of November on the Constitution Day, in a large gathering in Talkotora Stadium, announced the following: that Congress party will oppose the EVM machine by way of public protest, and that protest will be led by none other than Mr. Rahul Gandhi in a fashion of, in the manner of Bharat Jodo Yatra. Nothing. Recently held working committee meeting. Also, the sleeper cells diluted the entire issue of EVMs and said that we will work for electoral reforms. This is the sleeper cell of Congress party. I can name the sleeper cells, not right now, but very soon I am going to name sleeper cells of every political party which is actually trying to sabotage the battle, which is getting crystal clear now, of the country wanting paper ballots and not EVM. They are now, the latest method of theirs is in which sleeper cells of civil society are also very prominently active. Mr. Yogendra Yadav is one who has called every one of us a quack, arguing that this debate of EVM, whatever the election commission says, should now be forgotten. Let us concentrate on other anomalies of election, that is purchase of voter, violation of moral code of conduct, use of money, use of communal statements by the ruling class. Let us concentrate on that. Forget EVM, it is not important, it is not actually any problem at all. Now apparently these people are very, very trusted. One of them, Mr. Yogendra Yadav, I am taking his name because he was right next to Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his Bharat Jodo Yatra. So he comes out and calls me, Deva Saim Saab, Prabhakar Parkara Saab, Justice Kolse Patil Saab, Raju Purvekar Saab, Dr. Pyarelal Garg Saab, a quack. Now I did some research on him and I have details how he is a sleeper cell. So this Mr. Venugopal, Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. Yogendra Yadav. Others are also there who masquerade as experts. They are experts in their fields. But their thrust is one. Anybody, and I am giving you a formula to understand who is an RSS agent. You criticize BJP on communalism. They say that they are anti-national. They are this. They are selling the country. They are responsible for the unemployment. They are responsible for price rise. They have destroyed the country. They have no problem. I am telling you, formula. But you do not take the name of EVM. That if anybody is like that, he is an RSS agent. I am declaring it from here. Modi ji has no problem if you call him any name, but don't talk about it. Because, and the logic behind that is Mr. Rahul Gandhi and all the opposition, Mamata Banerjee Sahiba and everyone who is winning or losing elections. If they campaign and convince the people, even if they campaign and convince the people, 20% extra votes 20% manipulated votes will always be there in favor of whoever Mr. Amit Shah and Rajiv Kumar and likes of them want. And this is not true for them alone, but anybody who's in seat of power and if he has a tendency of being dishonest. This power will be available to them as of now. It can be improved later on, but right now this is 20% is the cap. Wherever you are winning elections, now you are defeating not only the original votes of BJP, but which are very few in number, but this 20% extra, up to 20% extra would be a better step. So what they do not want is, so what formula I am giving is, anybody who is criticizing Mr. Modi and Amit Shah and RSS and BJP, but is saying don't bring up the topic of EVM. He is a mole. Either he is a mole or he is a person who does not understand the holistic and correct picture. The second category can be convinced in a few minutes. And if he doesn't get convinced, then my opinion and my suggestion to you is brand these people as agents of RSS and BJP. Otherwise they should get convinced with the logic, no, because they have no logic. They have absolutely no logic but saying these rigmarole like things like you win elections also. Right? I will win elections by a larger margin and you will lose elections by a larger margin if EVMs are not there. If the use of machine is minimized by some way or the other, you will not win elections. If there is a massive wave, how much can you control by casting extra 20% votes? So this is one argument which they have given. Then they give another flimsy argument that you are against the technology, you are against advancement. I'm drinking this water. Can I substitute with an image of water? Can I substitute food with an image of food? Some things will remain basic. Something will have to be basic. That is science. It is not against advancing forward. It is not against use of technology. I want to use technology to ensure that paper ballot become more safe method of holding elections by putting CCTV cameras so that there can be no booth capturing. By putting in more security forces so that booths are not captured. That is the use of technology. So therefore, our battle now first and foremost is winning and weeding these sleeper cells and RSS agents out of amongst ourselves. Once we do that, I think 75% of our battle is almost won. We have every logical, legal, technical and data-wise, all the material has been collected. This much hard work we've done. There is nothing left. The only thing which is left now is victory, which is within our reach. I request you, all of you, to extend your hand and grab the victory. Bring back paper ballot, ban EVM to save our democracy, to save our country. Thank you very much. I would very much want to answer all any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your informative and in-depth knowledge. Now we'll be having an interaction session. So before that, I request Mr. Sagar Pratino to say a few words. After that, we'll have an interaction session. So please be seated. You can put whatever questions you want to Advocate Pracha and the team.
See, the more important session would be the interaction session. So we would prefer that you clarify whatever doubts you may be having in your mind. And Advocate Pracha will be there to answer them. Because many times we also sometimes are confronted by the pro-EVM or pro-BJP people. And that is the time we require sufficient knowledge to counter them. Today's meeting we had informed all parties and we are happy that Goa Forward MLA is here. We also have Congress leaders, the Senior Vice President of Congress, also our volunteers. Our MLAs could not be here because of the death of our MP's father. So the funeral clashed with this program today. I won't take much of your time. Please be free to get your doubts clarified from Dr. Advocate Pracha.
Advocate Mehmood, Pracha, thank you so much for what you shared with us. My name is Dev Surpi. I wanted to ask you, since you've been speaking about the elections, as per your logic and also what we've also been hearing since the election results were announced for the Lok Sabha, this current government is absolutely illegitimate and it is passing budgets, it is taking crucial decisions, it's running the country and everything. You've chalked out a very nice plan. I'm really on board in what you're doing. It's action oriented, it's not just Andolan without any logical result. But as a lawyer in the Supreme Court, my question has been to a lot of people as well in the legal fraternity. When the courts are not with us, when every single institution is not with the public of India, what do we do? I mean, logically, if the only thing is jail bharo ya sadak pe utar ke aao, but as a lawyer, can you please share with us like what do we do in this situation?
See, first of all, I'll start answering your question negatively. Now, this is a situation facing us. We are the most important stakeholders of our country. Should we not do anything if the situation appears to be unsurmountable? Or should we start and prepare ourselves to win this unsurmountable battle? That is a counter question I will ask every one of you. Can we let India go under any circumstance? Then there answers your first question. So we have to be prepared to walk an extra mile, 100 miles if required, but we have to remove this fraudulent system because right now, as you also rightly pointed out, this is an EVM CM. Every single rupee which they are spending is a crime. I'm saying this with full sense of responsibility, which will send them to prison if honestly and sincerely pursued for life. Because this is criminal breach of trust of the monies which they are spending as a whole. So that is the scenario. Now, can we let our country go? That is all I'm saying. But now the positive point is the constitution amendment. That is why I praise Baba Sahib so much. There are checks and balances. So a mix of public campaign along with focused litigation. A lot of things are being done to harm our campaign in the courts because we are working very hard. When we get prepared for 100% things, we only ask for 2%. That is why we are getting success in all our cases. So it's not undoable, first. It is not unwinnable, second. Within the sphere of this system, even in the courts. But if, and I am confessing that we cannot win this battle only in the courts, a lot of Supreme Court judges, if you have noticed their comments carefully, they are saying we cannot do the work of opposition parties. So the best effort which all of us must make is to activate our leaders in political parties. Opposition political parties are MLAs because their stake, if not more than us, at least less than us is at stake also. So we have to make them come on streets, and now streets also. I usually say this, any battle like this will be won 80% on the streets, and we went to Lohia Saab's statue there. So I will reproduce this famous saying. when वो ये कहा करते थे कि जब सड़कें सुनसान हो जाएंगी, संसद आवारा हो जाएगी. When the streets are empty, the parliament will become vagabond. This is what Lohia Saab says, and he is the inspiration of Goa's independence. So हम उनके ही रास्ते पे चलना पड़ेगा. So but what I say is 80% relief we will get, and we will get 100%. On streets, 20% in courts. A combination will get us relief, not in years, but in months, and I'm so sure of that. And there too, we've identified these sleeper cells. If we remove these sleeper cells, no people, the workers will get empowered, the leaders will get empowered, and we will remove this EVM business forever from our society. Let anybody win. And I'm saying this again and again. Tomorrow, if some other government comes, and Modi ji and Amit Shah ji will then be crying against EVM, we will be the first person to fight with them to remove EVM. When the shoe will be on the other foot. So, therefore, we have to, when things are difficult, we have to prepare more, we have to fight more. That's all I can say. But we are winning now. We will win in months if political parties are with us. We will win in a year or two if they are not with us. That's all I can guarantee.
Yes, sir. I am Rodney Almeida. There is one thing that I have been observing. Either the Supreme Court judges or the senior Supreme Court lawyers have not demanded that experts in the field of programming be brought up to the Supreme Court to categorically say that the EVM machines are a fraud and if they can prove it. So neither the Supreme Court judges or the Supreme Court lawyers have brought these people up over there. Why? As a programmer, I can say I am voting for one party, but as a programmer, I can also see that the votes go to a different party. Irrespective of that VVPAT, I can say allow the VVPAT to make the person happy, but the vote internally is going to the person whom I decide. So how that the experts have not come to the Supreme Court and given a categorical statement that these EVMs are a fraud. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very important question. But I will answer it in a manner which is crystal clear and which is understandable by a common man. See, the basic concept of election, and we have won our case. The moment you say that we need experts to explain something to Supreme Court judges, I have won my case. Why? Because it clearly shows that a common man cannot understand this system absent or minus the help of experts. This is end of the case. This is against the basic premise of holding election. A common man has to understand. If a common man cannot understand, which clearly, and these arguments are coming now, because nobody argued it like this. And I'm sorry to say this, it's not, I am a genius. People have not argued these cases properly, because this is the answer to what you're saying, not getting into technicalities. I won the case. We have won the case. The moment you say we need experts, we won the case. End of the matter. I am the boss. I am a common man who does not understand election, this voting machines. Do you know, even there are only 5 people, and I am one of them, in the country who know 75%, and I say that I understand only 75% of the system of holding elections by EVM machines. And I have devoted lots and lots of time to understand this. So if only 5% understand why are you holding election, 5 people understand this. And nobody 100%. I will be becoming a permanent follower of anyone who understands the system 100%. And I am willing to debate with any of the experts which Election Commission wants to bring in. So and if you know some government officials who are holding elections, please talk to them. They are continuous under training, year-long training to make them understand how this I'm not going to use that word, how this brilliant machine works. Every senior government official, every junior official is trained throughout the year to make them understand what this is. That is the end of the elections by EVM. It is a self-defeatist argument which the Supreme Court itself has actually fallen into the trap itself.
Hello, good evening everyone. I am Subhash Kirkar. I wanted to ask Pracha sir about EVM. It's been managed, it has been hacked or whatever. But if tomorrow, suppose the election held on ballot paper, and if ballot papers itself is managed or hacked or has done however they play with, so what is the next solution? Then they might say, "Arey, now
now we are doing election on ballot paper. Now you have no point again to argue on anything like. So what my question is, so what next then our movement will be? Suppose if ballot also is managed, so there how and what is next move will be of ours? That I wanted to know.
There are two parts of your questions. I'll answer both of them. First is, as I said in my remarks also, paper ballot is the safest method. And if you use technology like we have videography of every procedure. If every procedure is videographed, it will be made the safest way and that is what is recognized across the world. Paper ballot is the safest way. And I will concede to that there will still remain certain anomalies in that. But you see, this is the best as human technology can get. So that is one part of your answer. The second part of the answer is, there are other reforms also, like voters list. We will and we are fighting for these other reforms also, where moral code of conduct is implemented in toto. See, and use of money, use of manipulation by government officials is minimized. We are working for that. But I will give you one example and I will ask your opinion on that also. Now supposing we correct this voter list business. We have initiated a program, hypothetically speaking, if all the voters are correctly reflected on the voter list and they go and vote also. But EVM machines have the capacity to manipulate the votes which have been casted in a particular fashion to change them to certain other kind. So what it should be our first priority. The biggest danger should be our first priority and the biggest danger is this machine. We will immediately come to other reforms also to minimize electoral fraud and to ensure that elections are held in the most free and fair manner which is humanly possible. That is my answer to your other half of the question.
Thank you, sir, for...
And one example of Chandigarh. You know why he was caught? Because votes were on paper ballot. So he was caught doing this. If it was on EVMs or some sort of computers, he will not be visible what he is doing. That is the advantage of paper ballot over EVMs.
I would like to ask one question. See, there was some disparity between the votes cast and the votes counted, and that happened in nearly 500 and odd constituencies. So if the voting machine is like a calculator, you press the number 5, it should show number 5. So why is this discrepancy sometimes running into thousands of votes between the votes cast and the votes counted? And why are the election results not declared quickly? Why there's so much gap between the voting and these results being declared? If it is like a calculator, it should immediately show all the results.
A good question once again. But you see, I will to be giving you the exact number. It is 538, which Dr. Pyarlal Garg and various other media and others have calculated. And to give you another figure, that is 4 crore 65 lakh votes. There is a difference of votes in the data which was published repeatedly, improving upon the data by the Election Commission itself. So these are facts based on, once again, and mind you, every argument which I placed before placing public domain is based on only my arguments I'm talking about. Nothing else but Constitution, law, and the guidelines and orders of Election Commission, nothing else, not even pure science. Only one thing I say, that every machine is manipulatable. No machine is perfect. Other than that, everything is from their own admitted documents. So now, coming to your question, and I'll state facts that will answer your question. Machines were, one of the reasons of bringing in machines was to hasten the process of elections. Now you yourself are saying that the election process is delayed. Earlier when it was through paper ballots, the outer limit for declaration of any election result was 1 month. Now it runs into many months. Phases are so many. It used to be 2 or 3 when it was the election through paper ballots. So one of the arguments was that it counts the votes quickly. How fraudulent this argument is clearly reflected by a question that the entire process has to be hastened or just the counting has to be hastened. And factually that is also incorrect. If you put in more people, slightly larger number of people, paper ballots will count, even votes will be counted in a quicker fashion. Second aspect, why the machines were used. This is the second logic which was given for use of machines, that there will be accuracy down to the last vote. There will not be a difference of a single vote. This was one of the second most important logic which was given in what is coming out. What does it point out? Machines themselves, if programmed in a particular fashion, do not betray that program unless they get corrupted because of something external. So it clearly establishes that there is a manipulation. So they are getting caught in their own web. So these were your questions, and I think if some part of your question is left unanswered, I am happy to answer that. So this is the logic. It is a clear-cut fraud which has been played on our country. Countries having best technology have refused to hold elections by EVM. Countries having introduced EVM system have said sorry to their people and they have gone back to paper ballot.
Good evening, sir. I'm Mr. Gabriel Pinto. In the year 2019, the EVM machine manufacturer had declared the number that they had manufactured. And also the Chief Election Commission also declared the number of machines that they had displayed. There was a discrepancy of nearly, as far as my understanding goes, what I had read about, was nearly around 30,000 EVM teams. When it is there, black and white, declared by the manufacturer and by the CEC, why these machines, extra machines, were not investigated? I know that's not your job, but it is a clear understanding that these machines somehow were ciphered so that they could be tampered and replaced with the machines which they know that they are people's spots. Also, my biggest fear is no matter how many points we bring about EVMs or even ballot paper, ultimately I really don't find any sort of a source where we can go and 100% expect that we would get the judgment in the wrong ways. Can you please enlighten on this? Thank you.
It is, humans are bound to commit follies. No human system is perfect. But we have to keep striving to make it almost perfect. The answer to the question of this gentleman in yours also is question. The basic concept of holding election is the organization or a person who's holding elections should be considered as not honest. You have to question them at every stage. In India, that is the responsibility mostly and vastly placed on the opposition parties, which I have no hesitation in saying they are not performing their duties properly. I mean, there can be excuses that BJP has got so much more money which they can pay their workers and all that stuff. They have built up large offices worth crores and all these are excuses. People, 60% of the people have voted against the BJP and NDA, even today, in last Lok Sabha elections. So, we have to use technology to make system more and more perfect. That's the best we can do. And the more people start questioning, And that's why I say everywhere, and there is a reason in my harsh language when I use this language for all the elected personnel, that they are servants. If this mindset reverses, no, that they are not personalities to be revered, but they are servants. Once this mentality comes and develops in Indian masses, then they will be able to question more, and every government servant will be scared to waver from the duties which have been assigned to him by the constitution and by the law. That is the best which needs to be done. But ultimately people have to realize that we have to take work from our servants in a very, very demanding and bold fashion. That is the real answer and real solution to this question.
Hello. Salam sir. I'd like to ask a question regarding about the defaulters. Okay. They sit for the elections, correct? And then they jump other parties. Okay. So what is the law from the Supreme Court? Okay. Since you are a lawyer of the Supreme Court, I just want to ask, like, what is the you can say, like, what is the, can you apply the, say, like, defaulters, they have jumped, okay, they have broken the trust of the people, okay, so what you want to say on this? And secondly, I have to ask second question, okay, when we have in India all IPS officers, okay, IS officers are there, but the countries are run by uneducated people. Okay. My question is, like, so many IS officers are there. They are not understanding what is going all over the country. They are harassing the minorities, small people, okay, like, poor people. But IS officer, they have a good grade. IPS also, they have good grade. But still, they act somebody's controlling. Can you just clarify on this? Thank you so much.
Jalan, and I will answer in reverse fashion. Last question first. I don't understand the logic why you've given this reward to IS and IPS officers that they are intelligent. I seriously disagree with that. No, really seriously. It is not true according to me. They are not intelligent. Intelligent people doesn't mean that you mug up certificates and pass some exam. That doesn't make them intelligent. Intelligent people, per se, intelligent persons can also be very dangerous. So when you are wanting a chair like that, first quality you have to have is spine and integrity and honesty. Everything else you can learn. So please remove this doubt that these people are intelligent people. I don't consider them intelligent at all, and I don't consider them fit. Most of them, not all of them. I have certain examples. One example I always quote is of that of Mr. Sanjeev Chaturvedi. So nobody is forcing them to take up this job. No, do some business, do some criminal activity. Who's stopping you? Only law will punish you. No, there is no stopping anyone from smuggling or doing anything else. The law as we have in India is, you are not prevented from doing any illegal activity. You will be punished. So they can use their intelligence any way they want, but we want people who are wanting to hold public offices, want to be public servant. Three qualities are most important. Their honesty, integrity, and spine. Don't look for intelligence, please. That would be my request. Now coming back to the question of defaulters, you said, the anti-defection laws were introduced during the time of Rajiv Ji. But according to me, there is conceptually lack of understanding and development of law in this regard. Because according to me, will of the people is transferred, as in the words of Devasayam Sam also, the sovereignty is transferred. If majority of the people transfer their sovereignty to a candidate in the elections. They are doing it conditionally. That they want you to be against the person who they are voting against. That is the mandate. They also vote for you because of certain promises which you are making. So you are nothing by yourself. You do not have the power to shift from that mandate which the people have given you against the sitting candidate and his party. Because these days elections are not held individually. They are held on personalities and the manifestos of parties. So that person which gets elected is a servant and a slave to his promises and his commitment that he will stay against that mindset, which was the ruling mindset of the winning candidate, the earlier sitting candidate. That is the basic concept which needs to be developed in our country, which I don't think we are really working hard on. The moment you go against your promise, you have actually thrown away the mandate, the sovereignty, and people actually have withdrawn their sovereignty from you. That should be the law. The moment you shift, you should lose your seat immediately. That is the system which we have today. But unfortunately, everybody thinks of utilizing the system to one's own greedy and selfish reasons rather than strengthening the system. So that law needs to be and that concept needs to be actually developed. I hope I have tried to clarify the concept of this voting and the elected person. He is just a servant, bound by your advice, bound by the mandate you have given, which is negative mandate against the previous sitting candidate, and also the promises, positive mandate for the promises he makes to you during the elections.
My name is Captain Eddie Davis. So, first of all, thank you very much for coming here and inviting a lot of all of us here with regard to the EVMs and their functions. You belong to a very elite body of the Bar Association of India. And my request to you is, can you please tell us what role have the Bar Association of India have been able to play in bringing this serious matter about these allegations against the EVMs?
First of all, my entire effort to convey the message that anybody who enjoys certain benefits and privileges because of the Constitution is servant of the people. Lawyers, when they don this band inside the court, are servants of people because we enjoy certain powers which are exclusively given to the lawyers. So we are also servants of the people. Bar associations are servants of the people. That is my main thrust of my, wherever I go, I only convey this first thing. So we are not elite, first of all. We are having these privileges because the common person sweats hard, gives money by way of direct and indirect taxes. He is the owner of this country. He gives up very many of his privileges to make us powerful. So that concept first. Now, I would say that bar associations are a very powerful body, and lawyers themselves, they have to front end this whenever there is a difficult time. Lawyers as a community, this is what I feel, have to front end the battle on streets and in courts also. Therefore, to live up to what I say, as I was introduced also in the beginning, none of the other lawyers you would see facing lathi charge from the police or getting arrested or getting raided. Not because I have done some crime, but because I am a lawyer. So I am walking the talk, but if the lawyers come in front, I think half the battle will be won. But unfortunately, lawyers are also not living up to the role which is expected and required of them in this difficult time of our democracy. I think people should question the lawyers' bodies also, that why are they not coming forward. I think that would be a good beginning, and we will all work for that. We question the bar associations also a lot of times that why are you not fighting? But if people force the lawyers also to come out in the open, I think that will be a very good thing. You expect things from us, that's right, but force us also.
Hello sir, I wanted to ask you why during that election time battery is showing 99% during counting?
Ostensibly, visibly, the best explanation is that they have been changed. In my Rampur election, I had actually got videos from the election commission where I was questioning the commissioning of the EVM machines. Where at the time of commissioning, they were 99%. It's there in the video also. So if a battery is used for hours together, it will definitely be get reduced. Another answer which the election commission is giving, that our battery functions in blocks. Firstly it will show 99%, then suddenly next block is 60%, 65%. That is the explanation, which is a very fraudulent explanation according to me. Why are you using such kind of dubious batteries which don't even have the capacity of showing gradually the charging strength, which this common phone can also show 99%, 98%. Why does it jump? Secondly, it's a clear sign that they have changed the machines, so they want to hide that. But that is one more very strong suspicion against them, unless of course they can show that they have replaced the machines altogether with a fresh machine, for which they will have to show individually. For every machine they have changed, they will have to show paperwork, which they are not showing. There lies their fraud, which can be caught like this. Every machine which is showing at the end of the polling 99%, there has to be a change of machine. If they are not able to show the paperwork, definitely we can have a presumption safely that that machine has been changed.
थँक यू प्रचा साहेब. तर भावांनी भयणांनो आनीक जे वेगवेगळ्या वाठारांतल्यान जे लोक हांगा आयल्यात तांकां एक मॅसेज मेहमूद प्राचा साहेबान दिल्या की बाबा EVM जे पळय आसा ते फोटीपणाचें मशीन, ते फोटीपण करता आनी फोटीपणां कित्याक करता की जे कोण लिडर आसात तांकां परतून परतून निवडून येवपाक जाय, तांकां परतून परतून आमचेर शेक गाजोवपाक जाय. जाल्यार मेहमूद प्राचा साहेबान जे पळय सांगलां ताचेर म्हाका एक तुमी सांगात की तुमकां EVM मशीन जाय काय नाका? मोठ्यान सांगात मरे, खरेंच मोठ्यान सांगात. बॅलेट पेपर जाय, बॅलेट पेपर जाय जाल्यार हात उबारात मरे. एक हात न्ही, दोन्ही हात उबारात. आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका बॅलेट पेपर, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका बॅलेट पेपर, आमकां नाका. सॉरी माफ करात, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका EVM, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका, आमकां नाका EVM, आमकां नाका. आमकां जाय बॅलेट पेपर, आमकां जाय बॅलेट पेपर, आमकां जाय बॅलेट पेपर. म्हाका माफ करात, मातसो ओव्हर एक्झॅजरेशन जालो. आतां मेहमूद प्राचान एक गोश्ट सांगली की बाबा आमकां बॅलेट पेपराचेर जाय. पूण हांव एक क्वेश्चन करपाक सोदता. मेहमूद प्राचा जी, आपको मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ, जैसे मतलब आप बूथ पे जाते हो, आप इलेक्शन करते हो, मतलब आप वोटिंग करते हो, चाहे वो आप EVM में करते हो या बैलेट पेपर में करते हो. उसके बाद नजरिया ये होता है कि आपका बैलेट पेपर या वो EVM जो है वो अपना कंट्रोल जो अपना रूम होता है, जिसे हम ब्लैक स्ट्रॉन्ग रूम बोलते हैं, उसमें चला जाता है और वो कम से कम कभी कभार महीनों तक रहता है. तो आपको नहीं लगता वहाँ पे गफला हो? हमारी मांग है कि आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट से गुजारिश करें कि ये जो बैलेट बॉक्सेस जो रहते हैं उनका वहाँ पे कोई काम नहीं है. जो स्ट्रॉन्ग रूम है उनका कोई काम नहीं है. आप जहाँ पे बूथ रहता है वही भी निकालिए, वहाँ पे रिजल्ट होती है. उसमें क्या होगा, एक पारदर्शिता बन जाएगी और यहाँ पे क्लियर कट मैसेज बन जाएगा कि आपका जो वोट है, आप जो सिक्का मारते हैं
कि यहाँ पे ऐसे चंद लोग हैं जो दगेबाजी करते हैं, भटकेबाजी करते हैं, और हमारे मूल निवासी बहुजन समाज जो बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे आप अम्बेडकरवादी हैं, तो मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि आप ये गुहार लगाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट से?
निश्चित रूप से ये मेथड जो है, जो स्ट्रॉन्ग रूम में जाने से मेथड है, उससे ज़्यादा सुरक्षित है। और यहाँ हमें टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करनी चाहिए, सीसीटीवी कैमरा परमानेंटली कवर करने चाहिए, वहाँ भी पोलिंग बूथ के अंदर भी, कि कोई भी व्यक्ति 1 सेकेंड भी मशीन जो है या बैलेट पेपर्स आंखों से ओझल ना हो। उसमें मेरा ये सजेशन है, डेफिनेटली ये बेटर तरीका है, पर एक स्टेप करके आगे बढ़ेंगे ना। अभी तो पेपर बैलेट आ जाए तब बोलेंगे इसमें यही इम्प्रूवमेंट्स और करो पेपर बैलेट के सिस्टम।
सर मैं आपको एक बात बताऊँ, ब्रिटिश में हाल ही में इंग्लैंड में वहाँ पे इलेक्शन हो गए, कंजर्वेटिव पार्टी और लेबर पार्टी के बीच में, दोनों के बीच में इलेक्शन हो गए, दोन्ही पार्टीमध्ये इलेक्शन झाले आणि तुमच्या लोकांनी किती कामाला डायरेक्ट बॉक्स दवरले आणि लोकांनी ती वोटिंग घातले आणि किती कामाला लेबर पार्टी तिची कोण आयली तसं ते इंडिया कित्याक जायना सारकें न्ही सारकें, कित्याक आमी सो डिस्कशन आनी करपाक वचपाक जाय ईव्हीएमाचेर, आमकां जाय डायरेक्ट पेपर, हीच मॅसेज आमी सगळे आखे गोंयांत पावपाक जाय, आणि लास्ट इयरी आमी गोवा इज ईव्हीएम हीच मॅसेज पावयली, पूण जालें कितें लास्ट मोमेंटाक कितें काय म्हणटा, सर वो आपका जो है आपकी वो बोलते हैं बॉन्ड पे गया सर इशू, बॉन्ड पे चला गया, इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड पे इशू चला गया, और ईवीएम का जो इशू है वही का वही था।
वही तो भीतर गाती है, तो कह रहा हूँ मैं आरएसएस के एजेंट सारे, कुछ भी आप करो, बॉन्ड करो, मोदी जी अडानी जी के दोस्त हैं, चोर हैं, कुछ भी बोलो, ईवीएम मत बोलो, यही तो बोला है।
आपको उसके बारे में मतलब
हर वो आदमी जो ईवीएम से आपको भटकाता है, मेरे ख्याल से वो अगर समझदार आदमी है, समझ रखता है, तो वो आरएसएस का एजेंट। कोई अगर नासमझी में ऐसी बात कर रहा है तो अलग बात।
थैंक यू सर। आज हांगा उपस्थित आशिल्ले बाय शिवाना रिबेलो, बाब कामणकार, बाब साबियो, आनी खास करून विजय बाबा हांगा आयले, आनी दुसरा ताका म्हाका दिसता 1.5 वर रावले, ताका लागून ताका ताळयो मारपाक जाय, आनी म्हाका दिसता की समज आमकां खरोखर ईव्हीएम बॅलेट पेपर हाडपाक जाय जाल्यार आमकां जे पॉलिटिकल लिडर आसात, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी आसा तांचे फाटल्यान रावपाक जाय, आनी तांकां आमकां सपोर्ट करपाक जाय। ताचे मुखार आसा बाब शेख हसन, मागीर इतिहास, मागीर जो मास्करणी,